You are listening to Disney Travel Tales, episode number 5. This is a space where you can escape the real world and immerse yourself in someone's recent Disney trip. I'm Jenny, and today you are listening to my interview with Stephanie. Stephanie and her family and friends did a split stay at Disney World and Universal Studios in April. This was their first time to Florida and visiting these parks. Hearing their thoughts and stories traveling with a group of 8 was very informative. This show is brought to you by our sponsor, Trolley Lane Travel, and owner Becky Abrizetti. Becky and her agents are Disney experts. You will get their personalized attention 24/7 from the moment you start planning all the way to the end of your trip. Your agent is your single point of contact and advocate. Anytime you want to plan a new vacation, just contact your agent directly. Stephanie used Becky to help plan her trip. All of the agents at Trolley Lane Travel have insider tips and tricks to help guide you along your Disney vacation. Stephanie mentioned that Becky recommended eating at Satuli Canteen in Animal Kingdom, and that ended up being her favorite meal. All of this and more is complimentary to you when you book your vacation with them. Let Trolley Lane Travel help you plan your next magical vacation. Visit them on the web at trolleylanetravel.com and go to their Request a Quote page for a free, no obligation quote. They are also on Facebook and Instagram at Trolley Lane Travel LLC. Tell them Disney Travel Tales sent you. Okay, so let's begin our adventure with Stephanie. Imagine yourself at your bucket list resort pool. Mine is Stormalong Bay, and let's go. Stephanie, thanks for coming on the show today.
Well, thank you for having me.
First, let's start off telling us a little bit about your experience with Disney vacations and who you traveled with on your vacation.
I've been to Disney a couple times, but just Disneyland. So this year we decided to make the big jump and go to Disney World. And we took my son for his 11th birthday. And then we took a group of friends with us, and it was a mom and dad and their 3 kids, and it was just, so we had 8 total, and it was just a blast.
So was this your first time to Disney World?
Yes, all of our first time.
Oh, awesome. That's so fun. What dates did you travel?
We were there April 14th through the 22nd of this year.
And what resort did you stay at?
The Coronado Springs resort, and it was beautiful.
Okay, so we're just going to start with your first day. How was your flight, and was it a direct flight, and who did you fly with, and how did all that go?
We flew from Boise, Idaho to Denver, Colorado, and then Denver to Orlando on Southwest Airlines. And it was real nice because Southwest offers the free Wi-Fi. So, you know, my 11-year-old didn't have to play video games the whole time. He could watch his shows and whatnot, and he thought that was cool. And they were newer movies that he hadn't seen yet. So he really enjoyed that. And of course, we could carry all our luggage without having to pay extra money because 8 days in Disney is a long time.
Yeah, Southwest is a great airline if you can find a good flight.
Yeah. And I bought the airline tickets back in January to travel in April. And so they were less than $1,000, and it was wonderful. I was expecting way worse.
When you got to Orlando, did y'all use the Magical Express to get to the resort?
We did, and I'm so glad I read the instructions ahead of time because I had my magic bands in my purse ready to go, and we had to wait for our friends to open their luggage and find them. They didn't want them to carry them on, so they were worried about losing them. So I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes your first time trip, I remember the first time we went, I didn't carry on our magic bands either because I was so worried. You just don't want to lose them. You feel like if I lose them, my trip will be ruined.
Yeah.
So I understand that. So how was the Magical Express? Was it a good experience?
It was fine. It was weird during COVID. You just have assigned seatings. And so in a bus that should fit 40 people, we fit 20, you know. So it wasn't bad. We got right on the bus. We didn't have to wait the 20 to 30 minutes for a new bus to show up. We got right on, and our bus filled up fast from our flight, so we didn't have to wait long for other people to fill in either.
That's awesome. So y'all stayed at Coronado. What was your like reaction when you first saw the resort?
It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Until we went and checked in, I had no clue how big it was either. So when we checked in, we were in some subpart of Coronado, not in the main tower, and it was pretty far away. We were bus stop number 4, so people would have had to go through 4 bus stops just to get to where we were going to stay. So at that point, we decided to upgrade to stay in the tower, and we were central to everything: the restaurants, the pool, the bus stop was number 1. It was just a lot easier to stay in that. And now that I know this, I would book in the tower to begin with because it wasn't that much more expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will post some pictures that Stephanie sent me on our Instagram, and the resort looks gorgeous. I was looking at them this morning and I was like, oh, I want to go.
It was really cool. We had a view of the pond and the pool, and it was just so neat. And then right below us on the grass down below, they did movies every night. So they blew up the big screen and you could sit on the grass, and all the cute little families there watching the movies. My kids wanted the pool, but
yeah, that's so fun. That's neat that y'all got to see that.
Yeah.
So what did y'all do your first day when you got to the resort?
The first day, we didn't land till 5 p.m. in Orlando, so we had time to check into our hotel. The kids, of course, went right to the pool, and then the adults went to dinner, and we went to the 3 bars, and it was so yummy. I didn't realize the yummy drinks and food that they had, and it was just delicious. We just probably ate our weight in food the whole time we were there, but you walk so much, it doesn't matter, so don't worry.
Right. That's so fun. Okay, let's talk about your first park day. What park did y'all visit, and how did you get there?
We did the Magic Kingdom the first day. We took the Magical Express there, and again, we had no problem getting on a bus right away. We walked down from our hotel room out to the bus stop, and there's covered benches, so it was nice. And we took the bus, and we got off at Magical Kingdom. The walk from the bus to the park is a little bit, but again, if you're parking, you're going to walk too. So it was nice that it was all separate though. So the buses took off in one area and the cars took off in another area. So you didn't have to have a whole big traffic jam. I thought that was pretty neat.
What time did y'all get there?
Magic Kingdom, I think, opens at 8. So we got there at 7.
Oh, wow.
So staying at a Disney resort, you get in an hour early, which is so nice. They said the rides weren't going to go, but by 7:30, we were already on a ride. We did the new Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and that line wrapped around. But even at 7:15, that's the first ride we went to. It had wrapped around like all these little turnstiles, and we actually got down within 15 minutes, even with all that line. So they were very efficient and started at 7:30, and we got to ride the coolest ride first. So
that's really nice. What was your impression like when you walked into Magic Kingdom for the first time?
When I walked into Magic Kingdom for the first time, it reminded me a little of Disneyland because you walk down Main Street in the big castle. And I hadn't been to Disneyland for a while, and so I hadn't really, it felt like Disneyland at first. And then I got to the castle and I was like, oh, this is a bigger castle. And so it was just a bigger, better version of what I knew of Disneyland.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. We went to Disneyland after Disney World once, and I was like, this castle's so small. Yeah. It was built a long time ago. Okay, so y'all did Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Did everyone like that ride?
Everyone loved that ride. It was so cool, and the music, and the kids were singing, and as you're going through the line, you feel like you're in the mine, and the gems are everywhere, and you can see the Seven Dwarf shadows walking up the mine with you. It's pretty cool. It was a nice little mini roller coaster.
Yeah, that's a fun way to start the trip.
Yes.
So what'd y'all do after that ride?
We headed off to Space Mountain because that was the next on our list. So we did everything in Tomorrowland. We did Space Mountain, we did Buzz Lightyear, we did the race cars. And it was pretty cool that the kids got to drive the race cars. You go to go-kart places around your hometown and they're too small or too little. And that was something they really got to do and get a driver's license. And they thought that was the coolest thing. Well, I shouldn't say the 13 and 14-year-olds, but the 2 11-year-olds thought that was just the bee's knees.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Did everyone like Space Mountain?
Everyone loves Space Mountain.
Was the
I
wait
think
long for that?
no, because again, this was before 8 o'clock that we even got on it, and so we rode 3 times before 8 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah, so between 7:30 and 8, when we got off Seven Dwarfs, we rode 3 times, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
I think COVID helped too because you didn't have all the people. It was at 50% capacity when we went. I found out, not 30, and so just having the less people was super super helpful.
That's great. So y'all did most of Tomorrowland, and what y'all do after Tomorrowland?
Well, come to find out, in Space Mountain, we still lost the cell phone. So there was that one. We had a fun little adventure there, but we didn't find that out till later. And the people there were amazing. They kept it. And so when I tracked it on my phone, we were able to see that it was right there. And they had it with them. So that was a sidebar to that story. But it was pretty cool that they kept it there.
So did they lose it on the ride or in line?
So he put it in the little pocket in the ride and just forgot to take it off or take it out when they got off. So someone had found it in there and gave it to the ride people. And luckily we went there before the park closed, so they hadn't brought it to Lost and Found yet. So it was still right where he forgot it.
Okay, that's good. I was like picturing it falling out during the ride.
Me too. When I tracked it there, I was like, there's no way we're going to find this phone. And we went up to the guy that was doing the disability passes and we're like, hey, so this is the deal. And he called in and we described the phone. They were like, yeah, we've got it right here. And they sent us right up and we got to go get it. And they offered for us to ride, but I just felt bad because we were cutting a big, long hour line at this point, because it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we didn't ride, but it was so awesome that they got us right in and tried to make a good experience out of a bad one because they knew he was in trouble.
That is really nice. Yeah, the cast members at Disney they're one of a kind.
Yeah.
That's great. So what'd y'all do? What was y'all's next stop or next rides?
We went back by the castle and we did Peter Pan and Small World. That was pretty cool. Peter Pan's flight, you got to see the town below. And it was so reminiscing of my childhood,
Oh, yeah.
When you pretend that you're flying and you get to walk through the bedroom and see Tinkerbell. And it's pretty cool that they are able to make it so real.
Yeah, that's a good ride. I love that ride. So how was Small World? Because I've heard it's very different from Disneyland.
It is very different from Disneyland. It's not outside at all, where Disneyland is outside. And I think that's part of the thrill of it. But also, it rains a lot more in Florida. So you have to have most of your rides inside. And we figured that out too. Not on that day, but it does rain and that affects everything. So you have to be able to keep the rides going. I think that the Small World in Disney World might have been a tiny bit smaller than the one in Disneyland too. Just from what I saw.
Which one do you like better?
Ooh, I'm not a fan of Small World at all, really. I don't know. Something about dolls have ruined my past. But I think if I had to pick one, I would pick probably Disneyland.
Yeah.
It just felt like you were in a castle where Disney World didn't feel like it. You were just in like a tunnel of thingy.
Yeah, it's just like a little building. It's nothing necessarily special, but yeah, my daughter is scared of that ride. Those dolls freak her out.
Yeah, that's my husband. He gets freaked out by the dolls. I'm whatever. And,
yeah,
but it's a nice thing to do to rest your feet because at this point you've walked up and down and over, and the kids are tired and it's hot and humid and they're not used to it because we live in Boise, Idaho, where there's zero humidity.
Oh, yeah. I know we're there in April. How was the weather?
It was nice. We were, we came from Idaho again, where we were still in jackets and pants and long sleeves. So we got to put on shorts. And a lot of people in Florida were still cold because it was in the 60s that morning. And we were like, no, this is like the heat wave. So it was nice that we got to do that. And the kids loved it. They weren't hot. I think had we dressed for our weather and not the Florida weather, we would have been miserable.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there was Floridians there that were dressed like we would have been in Idaho. So for us, it was a heat wave.
Yeah. That would be us. We're from Texas, and if it's at 60, that's like wintertime. We're like long sleeves pants.
Yeah. No, it's 57 here today, and I'm in short sleeves and shorts. So.
Oh my goodness, it's so funny how different climates.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so what'd y'all do after those two rides?
We headed over to Haunted Mansion and over that way towards Splash Mountain and Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Did y'all ride Splash Mountain?
Yeah, that was the longest wait we experienced in the park the whole trip. The wait was 75 minutes, and it felt like definitely 2 hours. But at this point, it's noon. It's the heat of the day, and it's just miserable standing there. But you have to cool down because, between the mask and the humidity and the heat, we were ready. If there was a pool to jump in, we could have gone and done that.
Yeah. How was the wait for Big Thunder?
The Big Thunder was wonderful. We walked right on 4 times. And I don't know if that's COVID and the reduced numbers, but we walked right onto that ride 4 times and just rode it. Because that was my favorite ride of the park, was the Thunder Mountain ride.
It's funny, those 2 rides, it's typically Splash Mountain is having such long waits. Like I check it every now and then just to kind of see, and it's always 75 minutes. I feel like if you don't do Splash first thing in the morning, you're going to be waiting a very long time.
Right, but who wants to do Splash when it's only 60 degrees?
I know.
That wouldn't have been fun.
Yeah. Okay, so did your family and your friends all like Haunted Mansion and Splash and Big Thunder?
I had never actually seen the Haunted Mansion movie, and I enjoyed going to the Haunted Mansion ride. I never have done it at Disneyland. It looked like just a walk through haunted house, and at that time my kid was little, and I didn't know what it was about, so I didn't want to bring him in there. And so it was fun that we got to be in this little car and go through the Haunted Mansion. It was pretty cute.
Did he like it, or was he a little spooked by it?
There were some parts that made him jump, but otherwise he thought it was great, and he was ready to go again. So
yeah.
It couldn't have scared him too bad.
Yeah, it's fun. Okay, so what was after all that?
After that, I think after we got off Splash Mountain, we went to go into, I can't remember what it's called. Adventureland?
Adventureland, uh-huh.
Yeah. And on the way, we got stopped by a parade of princesses, so we got to see the little parade come through and all the princesses on their little floats waving at everyone. So that was pretty neat.
Those are fun.
Because of COVID, I didn't think they were going to do all that, So.
Yeah, it's a nice little surprise.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And on our way to Adventureland, we did a little shopping. So that was fun, and had some drinks and a little bit of snacks. We had reservations for Belle's Castle at 3. So it was this weird time where we could only eat a little bit. And so that,
Yeah, what snacks did y'all get?
I can't even remember at this point. I think the kiddos just got a bag of chips.
Oh, so nothing like Disney special or anything?
No. I think it was just little stuff we could grab and walk to a spot and then go eat. So.
Yeah. What was how did y'all feel about having to wear the mask and not being able to walk and drink at the same time and all of that?
That was very hard, especially with kids that aren't used to the mask and the humidity. I mean, we've been wearing masks in school here, so they're used to it all day in that sense, but not adding in the heat and the lines, and you can't eat or drink in line. You can't do any of that. My kiddos kept putting them right below their nose, and they maybe had got away with it for 3 seconds before some Disney cast member was saying, "Pull up your mask." And I don't fault them at all. I know that that's their job. But it was just so heartbreaking to see these kids need a break, a true break, and just for a few seconds. And that wasn't okay unless we were actively sitting down somewhere. And there's not a lot of places to do that, to just sit in between rides or whatever. You can go to a restaurant, but we weren't ready for a sit-down thing. So that was difficult.
Yeah, I know. It's nice now that you don't have to wear a mask outside anymore at Disney because it is hard.
Yeah. But I think, now hearing that they're at 80% capacity and not wearing the mask, I think I would still choose the mask in 50% capacity because I can't imagine waiting in the lines that we still waited in with more people and no fast passes. I
Yeah,
don't know. So
did the park feel crowded even though it was a lower capacity?
yes, yes. I was telling my family all the time, like, what if this was 100% capacity? Like, how would we even move?
Yeah, it's interesting. They're saying though, because there's no like character meet and greets where people, like a large amount of people will usually go wait in line for that. And so it kind of empties up some of the rides since they don't have that's why the lines are so long for the rides, but who knows?
Yeah, I just can't imagine meeting a few characters would change some of those lines.
Yeah.
So after Splash Mountain, the first ride we went on was Jungle Cruise, and we waited in that line for 60 minutes. And it was, Jungle Cruise, they packed a bunch of people onto a boat. So you would think it would go really fast. And at Disneyland, it does go really fast. It's like a 10-minute wait because they're constantly. But this one we waited for forever, and there was no shade in most of the line, and it was awful.
Yeah,
So
that can be a long wait.
we almost actually got out of that line because it was taking so long.
Yeah. Did y'all like Jungle Cruise? Is it different from Disneyland?
I think this Jungle Cruise might be smaller than the one in Disneyland.
Okay.
So it's nice, again, it's a nice thing to rest your feet, kind of like Small World. It's a nice little break from the day where you can just relax and be in the shade for a little bit. And
yeah,
you got some mist from the water, so that was nice.
For sure. So what'd y'all do after Jungle Cruise?
We went to get some Dole Whip.
Yum.
We had to do that. And so my son got the regular pineapple Dole Whip. I got the pineapple raspberry, and Dad got the pineapple Dole Whip float. So.
And did y'all like what you got?
Yeah, we found some shade and we ate them. I think the favorite was mine actually because the raspberry just gave it an extra element.
Yeah, it sounds so good.
I ended up sharing most of mine. But I'm a mom, so I'm used to it, right?
Yeah, that's what moms do. Okay, so what y'all do after your Dole Whip snack?
That's when we went to Space Mountain and found the phone.
Oh, okay.
And then my friends went back and rode Haunted Mansion again, and they were going to do Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but that line was just too long. So at that point, it was like 2:15ish, and we had reservations at 3. So you could only ride certain rides that you could get on and off. So they got to do Haunted Mansion. We found the phone, and then we all met at Belle's Castle. We were all there, I think, probably 20 minutes early, and they sat us anyway, which was so wonderful.
Which room did y'all sit in?
We were in the dining room.
Okay. And what was your impression when you first walked in and you saw what it looks like inside?
It was gorgeous inside, and there was a cast member there, and she was so great. She took the kids and showed them everything while we were waiting for our table. And it was super cool to see. And she was like, where are you hoping to sit? And we were like, we were hoping to sit in the West Wing. And she tried really hard to get us there. I will say, if you book with a travel agent, ask them specifically to get you reservations for there because it is possible. And I didn't know that. And I didn't know to ask for that of my travel agent.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was, again, first time to Disney World and didn't know all those perks were there. So we probably could have gotten in there. However, it was so cool to be in the dining room where they actually sing the song Be Our Guest. So every room is super cool. We didn't have to be in the ballroom. You didn't have to be in the West Wing. The Beast came out every 30 minutes and waved to everybody. So it was pretty cool. We got some good pictures of him.
That's fun. What did y'all order and what did you think of the food?
The food was very specific for adults. It was kind of like going to a 5-star restaurant. So we got the filet and the green beans and the mashed potatoes. And then the kiddos ended up just kind of piecing together a side of mac and cheese and a side of fries. Because, again, their tastes haven't enveloped the same way ours has. So they ended up getting French onion soup, which, one liked, one didn't. And then they got their mac and cheese and fries. And I thought the food was delectable. I got the little charcuterie board, and And then I had my dinner, and then dessert was amazing. And I think I sent you a picture of the dessert.
Yes, it's so cute. I love it.
Everyone loved the gray stuff and the little chip teacup made out of white chocolate. So my favorite, though, was the macaroon that they gave us. So it was good.
That's really fun. So your son is 11. Y'all had to pay an adult price for him, correct?
Correct.
And did he eat off the adult menu or no?
He ended up just ordering the sides, like I said. So
yeah.
We still paid for an adult price, but I wish they would change that a little or make food for that weird middle age. Because the 14-year-old ate the steak and she loved it, you know? So I don't know.
I know. I think it's so hard that they cut off the kid age at 9 because I don't know many 10-year-olds that eat adult portions or even what adults eat.
Yeah. He loves steak, so he could have had steak, but at that point it was just steak is heavy. And we were so hot that he just didn't want that.
Yeah.
It was just, there was things he could have eaten. It was just hard. And some of the sauces and the words, they're scary, you know? He doesn't want a blue cheese crumble.
Right.
or whatever, whatever the weird little, additions are.
Yes, absolutely.
Can I have a steak, Mom?
I know. He's like, what is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what y'all do after your meal?
After our meal, at this point, I wore new shoes. They were new walking shoes. I thought it was going to be great. At this point, I had felt it start hurting, and so I took off my shoe, and my whole big toe was one big blister.
Oh my
gosh.
So
I sat down and we went and did some shopping for a little bit, and the one dad took the boys and went on a few rides, and I had groceries being delivered to our hotel at 8. So at this point, we finished with dinner. It was like 5:30. So we did a little shopping, and then we headed back to the hotel while the boys stayed and rode Thunder Mountain 100 more times. I'm exaggerating a little, but they did it I think they said 8 times in a row and just walked on.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. So you rode the bus back to your resort, I'm assuming. Was there a long wait when y'all left the park?
So I was the lucky charm of our trip. Anytime I was in line for a bus, the bus showed up right away. But if anybody else went to the bus and I wasn't there, they ended up waiting a good 30, 40 minutes for a bus.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
For me, no, it was never a long wait. But for we had people that left right after dinner because their feet were hurting and they were tired. And so they waited, and we had only gotten back to the hotel 20 minutes behind them. So they had waited a significant amount of time after we had shopped. So.
Oh my gosh. So then they all wanted to be with you at all times around the bus.
Everyone left when I left.
What service did you use to get your groceries delivered, and how was that process?
We used Instacart, and it was from the local Publix there. My travel agent, she told me what to look for and who to go through, and that was her go-to, and so we did that, and that was so easy. It was a little different because they don't deliver it up to your room because of COVID. You have to go meet them downstairs with a concierge cart and then get it all upstairs yourself, which, it's fine, but that's part of the whole thrill of vacation is that, someone's serving you a little bit more, which
right.
is fine.
And who was your travel agent?
Becky with Trolley Lane Travel.
Awesome. So what did y'all do that evening? Did y'all do anything else?
We came home and we all went to the pool to soak our tired feet, and we had some drinks around the pool. The bartender knew us well. By the second night, it was good. Because, a full day at amusement parks with kids, you're just ready to sit down and have some drinks and relax and soak those feet.
Oh, absolutely. That sounds so much fun. Okay. So do you have anything else to say about the first day?
No, I think it was great. It was magical. I wish they would have been doing fireworks that day because we could have watched them, but they didn't do any fireworks the whole time we were there.
Yeah, I know that. Hopefully the fireworks come back because that is one of the big, magical parts of Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, every girl's dream.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so let's talk about your second park day. What park did y'all go to? And I'm assuming you rode the bus because isn't Coronado they only have bus service?
Yeah, we rode the bus every time to and from parks at Coronado.
Okay.
The second day, though, we got up real early, and we had to get in line for Rise of the Resistance on our virtual queue. So we went to Hollywood Studios. And I was like boarding number 30, and my friends got boarding number 15.
Nice.
So we got up right away and got to the park. And by the time we were getting there into the park, still even an hour early from when it opened, they were like, your boarding group is up, to our other friends. So they went straight to the Rise of the Resistance. I couldn't walk at this point because the whole pad of my foot was just one big blister. So I went and got a scooter. It was really embarrassing, but I went and got a scooter so I could at least troop along and not, sit in a hotel all day. And we went to Star Tours, and then after Star Tours, we still weren't up for our boarding group yet. So then we went to, what's the one called? The other Star Wars one.
Smuggler's Run?
Yes, Smuggler's Run. And we got to do that one, and that one was super cool. Probably to me, better than Rise of the Resistance. I thought it was super cool because I got to drive. I was a driver, and my son was a gunner, and it was so fun.
That is a fun ride. It feels very realistic.
Yeah. And you're literally driving, and I'm watching myself hit the trains and the walls, and I'm like, oh, I'm not doing very good at this.
Oh, yeah. It's so fun.
Yeah, and you have to go down to go up and up to go down. So I'm trying to figure it out, and the boys are like, Mom, this is why you're supposed to play video games. And I was like, oh, gosh. So I was a little behind the curve, but they thought it was great.
That's so funny. So because you were on a scooter, did you get to go in the disability line?
No.
Okay, you went in the regular line.
Yeah, all their turnstiles are big enough for that scooter. I probably could have gone and got a disabilities pass because I couldn't walk at that point very well.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to use something I didn't feel like I needed. I was already embarrassed to be on a scooter, let alone need that. So it probably would have been cool because it could have gotten us on rides a little sooner and a little easier. But again, I just didn't feel like that was something I should do. I'm a nurse. I know better,
It is nice that they have options though for people, because that's tough. Like I can't imagine having a giant blister all over my foot.
I mean, I have some crazy pictures if you want them, but it literally took up the whole pad of my foot. And by the second day, it was full of blood, so it turned into a blood blister. And the last thing I needed to do was have it pop by walking on it the second day and then being miserable the next 6 days, because we still had 6 days to go at this point.
Oh my gosh.
I knew the only thing I could do was wear my flip-flops and baby it as much as I possibly could.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So what y'all do after Smuggler's Run?
We went on Rise of the Resistance.
So we're not going to give any spoilers away on that ride for people who haven't been on it, but did y'all like it?
So cool, so worth it, so real.
Yeah.
Between being on an actual ride, getting to walk through part of it, you got to do everything, and it just felt like you were in there. So cool.
Very cool. Are y'all big Star Wars fans?
I'm not. I haven't. I watch the new movies as they come out because the boys want to go, but they are. I have Chewbacca pillows and Yoda pillows in the house, and they just, they do their thing. But I'll go along with it just because I like to watch movies. I don't.
Yeah.
But to me, it wasn't anything. So I was lost on some of the parts, and they were like, "No, that's a bad guy." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. So what did they think about Galaxy's Edge?
That one we do at Disneyland, right? The Star Tours. That one, it was the same as at Disneyland, and so
like the whole land, like the whole Star Wars land. What did they? Did they like it?
So cool, yeah.
Yeah.
And Chewbacca and
Ray.
Yeah. Ray were out there and talking, and the stormtroopers were out there telling people to move along, and they had robots going all around on scooters, and my kiddo wanted to make his own droid, but that was something that you had to get ahead of time and make an appointment for, and we didn't know that going into it. So we actually got one for the last day, and then we were so tired by that time we didn't actually make that reservation. So
yeah, that's
because we went to Hollywood Studios twice. That's what I should say. We went to Hollywood Studios twice, and that was just something we couldn't do at that point.
Yeah,
it was super cool.
So what did y'all do after y'all rode Rise?
We got off the Star Wars ride and then we went over to the Tower of Terror and we were over there doing that one. That one at Disneyland California Adventure, that one's the Gardens of the Galaxy one. This one was a little different though because you got to go in and spun you around and you actually got to kind of go through the house a little bit and get scared, and then you did the dropping, which was nice. The kids love that one. But that one was a 45-minute wait. And it was pretty significant when you're, again, in a mask and sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the Rock and Roller Coaster. That was probably my second favorite ride of Hollywood Studios. So it was pretty cool that you got to go and listen to the music and go really fast and blaze through and just be rock and rolling. It was pretty cool there.
Did your son ride Rock and Roller Coaster?
Yeah, he did.
Did he like it?
Mm-hmm. He knew all the songs, and just was singing at the top of his lungs while we were going through. It kind of felt like Space Mountain because it's in the dark. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that ride's so fun too. I love how it just takes off right from the start.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have a chance to think about it. It just, you go.
Yeah. 0 to 60. And it tells you you're going to go. And I'm like, oh, we are? Sure enough.
Oh, yeah.
You had to take off your hats and your sunglasses because you were going so fast that they would have flown off.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's so fun. Okay, so what y'all do after that?
We went over and had dinner at Sci-Fi, well, lunch dinner. It was like 2 o'clock, a 2 o'clock reservation. We went to the Sci-Fi diner and had lunch in there, and it was so nice because at this point it's 90 degrees that day, and we were really hot, so we got to go and sit in this dining car, or this actual car, and face the screen and watch old movies while we ate our lunch. And that one was more of a hamburger and French fries kind of lunch, so the kids were super pleased with that one.
Yeah. Did y'all like your food?
Yeah, it was super yummy. Super, super yummy there. It wasn't elegant like Bell's Castle. It was definitely more of diner style food, and it was nice to have that normalcy for a little bit.
Yeah. Did the kids like the restaurant? Did they like the movies?
Yeah, they love the movies, and because some of them too, they put on the old Mickey Mouse and the old Tom and Jerry and stuff like that. So the kids got to see stuff that would also interest them, and then they had Frankenstein and some of the other stuff. Just little clippets. It was so cool.
Yeah, that's a cute restaurant. It's neat. So what'd y'all do after Sci-Fi?
After Sci-Fi, because it's so dark in Sci-Fi, it takes a minute for your eyes to adjust when you get out of it. We went over and did Toy Story Land. And one of the most underrated roller coasters, I think, would be the Slinky Dog roller coaster. That one was so, so fun. They make Toy Story Land look more geared towards the little kids a little bit, kind of like a Bug's World.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all surprised when we went on that roller coaster, and it was pretty thrilling. It was really cool. It wasn't a little kid anything, because
no, it's like a real roller coaster.
Yeah, like I think a 6-year-old going on there would probably be terrified.
Yeah.
But my 11-year-old thought it was great. So
that's fun. What y'all do after Slinky?
I think at that point we headed back to the hotel probably at that point.
Okay.
No, we didn't. I lie. I'm lying. We went to Oga's Cantina.
Oga's Cantina? Okay, yeah. Yeah. Did y'all have reservations for that?
Yeah, we did at 6. So we had some time to kill. So we hit a few rides that I can't remember, but we went to Oga's Cantina after that, and it was so fun. I think we did Smuggler's Run in between, and that was a really long wait. So we only had time for that one. But Oga's Cantina was so cool. You go into this industrial room and all these crazy drinks that they had. The kids was fizzing and popping. I had a drink that made my lips numb.
The fuzzy tauntaun.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? Were you like, what was your reaction?
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fuzz on the top. When it touched your lips, it instantly made it numb, but it didn't taste good. Like, if you could skip that part, the actual drink tasted delicious. But I didn't like
it's like tart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know, it's interesting. I love hearing when people drink that, how they feel about it.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
Yeah.
No. If you could take the numbing stuff off, that would be great. And then all the kids, you put the little numbing stuff on their lips and they're like, but they thought it was cool that it actually numbed. They were like, how are you drinking that?
Well, I'm just curious, what do they put in it to make your lips numb? It's very
that quick. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. We were trying when we had it. We were trying to figure out what could this possibly be, and of course they won't tell you.
Yeah,
it's part of the magic.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's
and they're
so
always
funny.
a character there. Someone sent back their drink, one of the kids, because they didn't like it, and he was like, "Oh, so you're ungrateful, and you must be part of the resistance," and blah blah blah. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really fun. Okay, so after that, y'all went back to the resort?
Yeah, after that, we went back to the resort and got in the pool yet again.
That's so nice. Y'all took advantage of it.
It's nice. It's nice to put your feet in the hot water while your body's out and just relax them a little bit. Because we average 10 to 12 miles every day because the rides aren't close to each other. You have to really walk to get from one place to another. And so the amount of miles we put away, you don't gain weight when you're at Disney World, even though there's all the foods and the drinks, because you are literally walking so much.
Oh yeah, it's like you need all that food and drink just to give you sustenance to keep going.
Yeah, you do. You really do.
For sure. Okay, so let's talk about your third park day. Where did y'all go?
We headed off to Animal Kingdom. And I think out of all the parks, Animal Kingdom is my favorite.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful. There's shade everywhere because it's full of trees. It had the Everest roller coaster, but my favorite ride there was the Flight of the Avatar.
Oh yeah, Flight of Passage.
Flight of Passage, yeah.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing. I couldn't believe that was the first ride we went on again because that's the most popular ride. Mm-hmm. So we went on that first, and we only waited 20 minutes in line before the park opened.
Oh wow!
For regular public. So even then, you knew that line was going to be long all day. So we got on it, and it was so cool that you can see the things and smell the things and feel the mist on your face, and it really locks you in there into the machine. And that was so cool to get to see and do and experience. Favorite ride of the whole trip for me.
Yeah, that's my favorite ride too. I could just ride it 100 times. I love it so much.
We rode it twice that day. We started the park with it and we ended the park with it because it was just so truly amazing.
That's really fun. What were your thoughts of Pandora, like walking into that land?
So gorgeous, starting with the huge tree, and then you go in and all the different, colorful waterfalls and the vines. It was so pretty, so pretty. It felt like you were in a rainforest.
It is beautiful. So what'd y'all do after Flight of Passage?
We did the other Avatar themed ride, the river.
Na'vi River Journey. That
was pretty cool to see all the illuminations and see some of the Avatar characters in their element. That was really neat. How
was the wait for that ride?
That one was not bad. I think it was all of 5 minutes as you were walking through the lines. It wasn't bad at all. Again, the park hadn't opened at this point yet either.
That's amazing. That's really nice because that's another ride that has a very long wait.
Is it? Yeah, we only went on it once. It was pretty cool though, and they had places to fill up your water bottles in line, which was nice. We learned the first day at Magic Kingdom to get a water bottle and just refill it at all the filling stations because water's worth $5 a piece.
Yeah, that's insane.
If I still had a kid in the stroller, the way to go to Disney is to have a kid and put him in a stroller.
Yeah.
Because you carry all your water bottles, you can carry the kids, you can carry all your souvenirs. Because at this point, I had a fanny pack and my husband had a side backpack. So it's not like you can fit a lot of stuff in there.
Right. Oh, yeah, I know. A stroller would be helpful. Okay, so what'd y'all do after that ride?
Evolution Everest. We walked all the way over to the other side of the park, and we rode Evolution Everest 3 times in a row. Well, I didn't. I rode it twice, and then I was like, I can't. I'm car sick.
Did y'all know that it was going to go backwards, or was that a surprise?
No, I had no clue. No clue. I was like, where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? And then it released. I was like, is the floor going to drop? What is happening?
That's so fun. I love that ride too. And that queue is really neat to walk through.
Mm-hmm.
It's the theming of all the rides are just really cool.
They do a really good job of getting you into character before you even get on rides because of the wait lines, because of the just the decorations, the environment that they create. It's super, super cool.
Yeah. Okay, so what'd y'all do after Everest?
We stopped and got some breakfast sandwiches because we were starving at this point. And they were pretty good. It was just an egg and ham muffin, English muffin. And we sat on the little, I guess they do shows on the water. So there's this little pavilion that you can sit in, and we sat there and looked at the water and ate our breakfast while the characters came along in a boat and waved to everybody. So I'm sure they do actual shows when it's not COVID, but the characters came and we got to wave to them.
What characters did y'all see?
We saw Timon and Pumbaa and Simba. We saw Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse. And I can't remember who else, but there was a couple on there that came by a couple times, and there was 3 or 4 characters every time it came by.
That's fun. That's a nice area. So what y'all do after that?
We got to we looked at the monkeys. They have the big monkey island. So that was pretty cool to see. And then we went through the walk through zoo-ish kind of thing, like the jungle, where you can just walk through.
Okay, yeah, like the jungle trek
jungle trek. There you go. We walked through there, and then that was pretty cool to get to go in, and all the birds are flying around.
That's fun.
There were some birds that we'd never seen before, so the kids, one looked like a chicken, but it also looked like a peacock, so they called it the rainbow chicken.
Aw, that's fun.
I thought it was really cool. It reminded them kind of Hey Hey a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's so fun.
They thought that was cool. To see animals that they could relate to from the Disney movies. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really neat. What'd y'all do after that?
Then we did some shopping. There was some pretty cool jewelry and outfits that you don't see anywhere else because this is supposed to be African safari. So we found some pretty cool stuff. I got a Disney World shirt, and on the back it said Hakuna Matata for the Lion King. And me and my husband got matching shirts for that. So we thought that was super, super cool. At this point, we all bought big safari hats because we were so hot and there was no relief from any of that. And at the day 3, we're starting to burn. And so we got to do some shopping for those hats and stopped and had some regular bar drinks for the adults, and the kids drank their Sprite and water. And then after that, we went on the safari cruise. That was a long line. So we spent, I think, 2 hours between waiting in line and being on the ride.
Oh, wow.
There were some animals on the ride that were blocking the road, so we had to wait, and we were backed up for a while.
Yeah, that ride, once you get on it, it's very unpredictable.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was cool to see the giraffes and the white rhinos and, all the things that you don't get to see every day.
Yeah. Did y'all get to see the lions?
They were sleeping, but we saw them sleeping.
That's really fun. So what'd y'all do after the safari?
The kids wanted to go back to Evolution Everest. So they went and did that, and the adults sat and ate some frozen lemonade cups while the kids were riding that and just relaxing for a little bit. And then I think after that, we went and took pictures in front of the big tree. We really enjoyed that. Did a little bit more shopping, and then it was time for our meal at Rainforest Cafe.
Okay, and was this like lunch, or was this around like between lunch and dinner?
You're right. So first we did lunch. At Satu'li's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Satu'li Canteen.
And that was my favorite meal of the whole trip. I had some noodle dish that was just delectable. Again, the kids wouldn't try it because it had weird sauces that they didn't know about. But they had stuff and I can't remember what it was. I think it was like chicken strips or something. But I had this delectable noodle dish that I could have eaten 3 of because it was just so yummy. And some green apple drink that was delicious as well.
That's a really good lunch spot.
Yeah.
So good.
My travel agent, again, told me to eat there for a meal. So had it not been for her, I probably would have skipped right by it because you're so busy looking at all the stuff around that Pandora area.
Well, and there's food places everywhere, and not all are great. So it is nice to know which ones are worth eating at.
Yeah, if you go to the Magic Kingdom, you have to go there, even over the Rainforest Cafe. You can go to a Rainforest Cafe anywhere. For us, we picked Rainforest Cafe because we knew that the kids could go there and get something that they would eat. Because again, some of the places we didn't know what they were going to eat. So we chose that as a safe option. And I'm so glad my travel agent said, no matter what you do, go eat lunch somewhere else. Go eat here. And we were so glad that we did.
Yeah.
So glad.
So Rainforest Cafe was dinner.
Yes, Rainforest Cafe was dinner.
And y'all had a reservation?
Yeah, we did. We had a reservation. I think it was for 6:45. It was the latest reservation we had.
Mm-hmm. And how was that meal?
It was good. The service was pretty slow in there, but it was cool to eat in the, the comfort of the cupboard and the air conditioning, and it got to thunderstorm every 3 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
That's fun.
This is where our long sleeve Disney World shirt came in handy because at this point we were getting cold. It took a while to get our food. I think we were in there for 2.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
But we were a party of 8. We were a very big table.
That's true. That's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. And we ordered desserts and stuff like that for the kiddos. They brought out this gigantic chocolate cake for all 4 kids to eat, and they devoured it. So it was pretty cool. They were super friendly, even though it was slow service. Mm-hmm. Super friendly.
That's fun. So was the park closed when y'all were done with dinner?
No, we had gotten out just in time to do one more ride on the flight.
So y'all went into Flight of Passage?
Yeah, we got to go on that one more time. By the time we came out of that, the park was closed. So it was really cool that we were still in line when the park closed, and they let us all through and let us finish. They don't have to do that.
Yeah,
so
that
we
is
closed
nice.
Out the park that day.
Was that a long wait when y'all went back over to it?
It was the longest wait that we had experienced that day. No, I lie. So far, it was still longer, but for that one, I think we still waited an hour in line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of those rides people go to right at park closing because then you get to stay and leave when the park is emptier.
It's nice.
It is
the buses are back. They're less full.
Yeah.
It's very nice because, again, we got right onto the bus. And
that's great.
Went back to our hotel. I didn't go to the pool that night. I stayed in the hotel and just relaxed and watched a movie. And one of the dads took the kids down, and that was so nice to just get some time in the hotel because we needed it at that point.
That is nice. That's nice to go with a group too, so you can take turns watching the kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my husband's the fifth, so he's usually the one that's down there with them in the pool.
Uh-huh. Okay, so let's talk about your next park. So your next 2 park days, what did y'all do?
So the next park day we did Epcot. So it was nice that we got to sleep in.
Okay.
And this is the only day we didn't go to the park early. We knew Epcot was more for the adults, and so we had to really talk to the kids ahead of time and be like, listen, this is not a park where you're going to ride a bunch of rides. This is about literally walking around to all these different villages, and we're going to try drinks and food in each. We are going to eat and drink our way through this park. So the kids struggled with this, and some of the younger ones just didn't enjoy it at all, but we tried to warn them. If you could do Epcot without kids, that is what I would suggest. You have Frozen in there, you have some of the other things in there, but it's not enough to offset what the adults want to do. And yes. I didn't know that going in.
Yeah, Epcot is so fun for adults.
Yeah, the first thing we did when we got into Epcot was the big ball. So I think it was
Spaceship Earth.
Yeah, Spaceship Earth. That was pretty cool. The kids liked learning about all this stuff, so that was pretty neat. But it was pretty warm inside that ball already because, again, we started the park at 11 and we've been used to starting parks at 8 o'clock.
I know they need to like get some better air circulation or something, because when you go in it, you think it's indoors, it's going to be cold, and then you're just like, it's so stuffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of deceiving.
Yeah. And then I think the next ride we did was Nemo.
Uh-huh.
The Nemo ride. I think that's there. I might be getting my parks mixed up.
No, that's right. There's a Nemo
I think
ride.
the next ride we did was Nemo. And it was pretty cool to see. You know, you literally walk in and go in the sand, and you're going underwater, and the sand gets higher. So it's, again, they put you directly into the ride, which is above and beyond what you ever have to do.
Right.
And it's just super cool. And we got to go swim with the turtles and follow Nemo and Dory through their adventure, and it was pretty neat.
That's fun. Did the kids like that?
The kids did like that.
Yeah. That's
and
fun.
Then we went to the ride where you're talking about Living Earth.
Yeah, the Living in the Land.
Yeah. We did the 2 rides inside that building, and it was super cool to see them growing all these things that, you know, some of the passion fruit tree I've never seen. I live in Idaho. We don't grow that here.
Yeah.
You know, some of the banana trees and some of the stuff that we can't see here or get here. It was pretty cool for the kids to see, and they're like, oh, that looks like that. That's what, you know. So it was really cool, and all their flowers were huge and immense. And
that's fun.
Did
y'all do Soarin'?
We did do Soarin', yeah.
Was that a long wait?
That was the longest wait that we had in that little section of the park, yeah. But it was totally worth it. It was so cool to just get on there and get to be brought up and go through the world. That was really cool, and it felt like you were there. And it kind of felt like a ride without truly being a ride, because you were lifted up and, you know, tilted side by side. It was a motion simulator kind of ride.
Yeah, that's a fun ride. So what'd y'all do after Soarin'?
We ate. I got a barbecue sandwich there. That was pretty good. It was nice to have a touch of home. You know, we're big barbecue people out here, like you are in Texas.
Yeah.
And it was nice to have a good pulled pork sandwich and just have some normalcy with a bag of chips and stuff like that.
That is always nice.
To sit down. Yeah. We tried not to eat a lot, so me and my husband, we shared a meal, because again, you eat and drink your way through Epcot. So
yeah, that's the best way to do it, is to share the food.
Yeah. After that, we went to we were in Canada. That's where we started, was Canada. We went into the Canada presentation, and it was a full 360-degree movie theater, and it was cool to see all parts of Canada. So we're planning our next vacation, needless to say.
Nice.
To Canada.
That's awesome.
It really made you fall in love with it. It was really cool. And the food, and I think the boys I'm allergic to shellfish, so I couldn't eat some of the stuff, but the boys got scallops, and they just thought they were amazing. We actually had to go back for seconds on that one because they loved it so much.
That's nice. Did they just get that from a booth?
Yeah, right outside the movie theater thing.
Yeah. What did y'all think of the Flower and Garden Festival?
It was so cool to see some of the statues made out of all this. I can barely keep my own flowers alive at home, so to see someone like shape creatures out of them, it was super cool. I have some pictures that I sent you, so if people want to see that they're there. It's amazing. They're real life size, I should say, not real life size.
Yeah.
Like the beast one stood a good 9 feet tall.
I know, it's so cool.
Yeah.
So what y'all do after Canada? Just kind of made your way around?
We made our way around. We went to France and had some beignets and some frozen wine. That was really cool. And then Japan was really cool for us. My husband served in Korea in the Army, so just seeing that whole part of a piece of what he got to see was cool because we didn't get to go with him when he went. So he got to show us what this was and this was. My kiddo really loved the fruit sushi, the frushi.
Oh, yeah.
There, and the snow cones there. And we went shopping in there and got some things, some candy and some Japanese sodas and stuff. So that was really cool to actually get to go in there and see. We had dinner reservations there at the Hibachi Grill above Japan. So we didn't stay too long in Japan because we knew we were coming back later for.
Yeah, Japan, so that whole area is beautiful.
Yeah. You can see the other side of Epcot, the big ball, through the arch of the dragon of the Japanese, and that was pretty neat.
And then y'all just made your way along. So I think, was America next? I can't remember. We didn't stay too much in America. We sat and listened to the band play. They have a little bandstand in America, and it was the mariachi band at that point, so it was pretty cool that you got to see that. And then we spent a lot of time in Germany because that's my heritage, and so we got to have some German beer and the pretzels, and they have the Werther's caramel house in Germany, and so the kids got some fresh Werther's caramel popcorn, and we got some boozy caramels. Nice.
And some Christmas ornaments, and it's amazing how much time it takes to get around Epcot because you're trying to try all the things. And so we didn't realize like how late it was getting, and you don't start till 11.
Yeah, that's the thing is you don't start till later, so you forget how late it is. And yeah, time can go by fast, but I think that's why it stays open so late as well.
Yeah, we did close it out. We did stay until 11, so that was hard.
Yeah.
But after America, we went to, through the park, headed towards Frozen, and there was one place that was a little outpost, and I had a pineapple skewer with tahini on it, and it was so yummy, and, yummy drinks. And then we went to Frozen, and we waited in line for a long time in Frozen.
That's always a long wait.
We should have, hindsight 2020, we should have hit that probably right off the bat.
Yeah. Did y'all like that ride?
We did. It was pretty cute. Again, it wasn't my type of ride, but the kids, with all the Frozen being out, were singing all the songs, and you got to see them, and it was pretty cool.
That's cute. That's fun. So what'd y'all do after Frozen?
Then we went and had the hibachi dinner. We went back to Japan. So we had the hibachi dinner, and that was really fun. And then half of our group went back to the hotel, and then just the teenagers and the one mom, and then the rest of us stayed at the park, and we went and did the 3
Caballeros?
Yeah.
In
that
Mexico?
Ride was really cool. Yeah. If I could do Epcot over again, I would have dinner there because it reminded me of the Blue Lagoon from Disneyland, where you were inside, and I didn't even know about it. We just figured a hibachi dinner because, again, the kids, that's something we have here, and the kids would love. And dinner was great. It was great, but it was just nothing different from what we knew, really. Where had we gone to this ride and known it, that would have been a really cool place to eat because just the atmosphere there. And one of the most underrated Disney movies was Coco, and I just love it so much. And you got to see some of that there.
I love Coco too. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. So good. Yeah, part of, these trips is kind of making notes and learning what you would want to do if you came back again.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to go and experience it to really figure out what you would like. Because you can take advice from people and listen to other people's stories and, definitely take that into account. But ultimately, it's what you would prefer to do.
Right. I had so many people telling me tips and tricks and stuff, and you get a little bit overwhelmed. So unless I'm going out looking for it or I ask about it, then it felt overwhelming to have so many people say this and that. And
And Epcot especially can be overwhelming because it is so big. There's so much food to choose from.
Yes. Yes.
It's impossible to do it all or taste it all. So, yeah.
We did. We felt like we missed out on a lot. You could really do 2 days at Epcot just trying to taste everything because it took us almost a whole day just to get through half of it. So
Yeah.
some of the lands we just skip past, and we were like, okay, well we gotta move on.
Yeah.
And keeping the kids entertained too, because between the Nemo ride, we did Canada, but there wasn't another ride until you got halfway around the world and got to Frozen.
Right.
And then it was the Three Caballeros, and then between that is the Speedway. So that's what we did. Next was the Speedway, and that was pretty cool. Where you got to design your cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then race. That was really neat. We couldn't design our own cars because of COVID. None of the computers were working because the buttons, and they couldn't sanitize it. But it was pretty cool to still get on the car, and you didn't know you were going to go outside and go real fast.
Yeah.
And the kids thought that was really great.
That's a really fun ride. I love that ride as well.
It was nice to cool off too because you're going so fast.
Yeah, I know. You don't notice the heat.
Yeah. We did it when it was dark too, so it was extra cool. It was like we were on a raceway and doing NASCAR. So
oh, that's really fun. I've never done Test Track at night. That would be fun.
Yeah, that was the last ride of the night we did, and it was still probably a 45-minute wait. Totally worth it.
Yeah, I agree. So after Test Track, did y'all leave?
Yeah, we headed back to the hotel.
And so you closed down the park. So did y'all do anything once you got back to the room?
We packed the bags.
Okay.
We broke up our Disney trip. We did 5 days at Disney, and then we went to Universal for 2 days. At this point, the kids didn't know that we had rented a hotel at Universal, because when you rent a hotel at Universal, certain ones, you get fast passes. And in a place where we've just been doing a whole lot of standing in line, the fast passes were really cool. So we packed a bag under the guise that it was supposed to rain. And luckily, it did rain. It poured on us. But we packed a bag, and me and one dad went ahead early while one dad and one mom stayed back with the kids. We told them we had to go get our tickets. So they had no clue that we actually had rented a cool hotel where we could all stay in the same room. Because at Disney, we didn't. We stayed in 2 separate rooms. We all got to stay in the same room, and we were right over the pool, and it was this big suite, and we were going to get fast passes. They had no clue. All they knew is that we were going to Universal and we had tickets. So when we took an Uber there, because the Magic Express doesn't go to Universal or anything. So we called an Uber. We went to the hotel and checked in and put all our bags away. And then we met them at the front of the park, 30 minutes later. And they were like, wait, where's those bags that we had? And so we were like, oh, we put them with concierge. They offered to hold our bags for us in case it rained, and we can go back and pick them up. And when we handed them all their little fast passes, they were like, what? And it was just a really cool surprise at that point.
That's so fun.
Yeah. And the hotel we stayed at actually has a boat to the front of the park. So it was really cool because we didn't have to do all the walking or wait for a shuttle. It literally took us on a boat by the water to the park. But the kids don't know this yet because we haven't surprised them. So we go into the park. It starts pouring immediately. It was 90% chance of rain like all day. But it was super fun because most of the rides, again, are inside. So we did the Land of the Lost. We didn't do the Universal Park. We did the other park first.
Uh-huh.
And we got to go do Spider-Man first, and that was pretty cool. And it felt like a lot like, I don't know if you've been to Universal in California, but it felt a lot like the Transformers ride.
Okay.
Where it's kind of a motion simulator thing.
Uh-huh.
And then we went on this awful water ride that is kind of like Splash Mountain, but it gets you so much more wet. It's not just one drop, it's a few.
Yes. It's like a Jurassic
We didn't know
Park.
that, and here it is. Yeah. And then it's like raining still, so we're extra wet.
Yeah.
And then we went on Jurassic Park. That one was pretty cool. And the lines weren't long, again, because we had fast passes. So we went right on to every single ride. I think Jurassic Park, we waited maybe 10 minutes because a lot of people had fast passes.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool. The one thing at Universal that threw us off, though, is a lot of your stuff had to go in lockers, the free lockers they provided. So we went to Harry Potter Land next, and that one, you had to put your stuff in a locker so you didn't lose it because you were going on rides that took you upside down and whatnot, which is smart if you ask me, but it was a little bit of a pain to have to go to a locker and then go to the ride and then get back to the locker. Even if it was just an extra step that I'm probably being whiny about, but if I had to complain about anything, that would probably be it.
Yeah, they're so strict about it because we've been to Universal, and even some of the rides, I'm like, do I really have to put my bag up? But you like have to put your bag up.
Yeah, and they have metal detectors, and they can detect your phone and everything, and they will throw you out of line to go put your stuff away, and your whole party just has to sit there and wait for you to come back.
Yes, they're very strict about that.
Yeah.
What was your overall impression of like Universal? Did y'all have fun?
I had so much fun. I think because of the fast passes, it was probably one of the best parts. And then, you know, we love Harry Potter. We're big Harry Potter fans. We're big Jurassic World fans too. So some of the rides there were more geared towards big kids. So a lot of the rides were bigger roller coasters and bigger things. And it was on a Monday, Tuesday, so it wasn't crazy crowded, and it was raining, so a lot of the locals, you know, don't come in. But it was cool that a lot of the rides got to go even though it was raining. So it never slowed us down.
Yeah. That's really nice. Did y'all get to do the new Hagrid's ride?
So day 2, we got to do the new Hagrid's ride. Best ride of the whole trip. Oh, trumped everything at Disney, trumped everything at Universal. The coolest roller coaster ever. It was a lot like Everest in the sense that you didn't know where you were going to go, so you had to go backwards. But it did take us backwards into this cave, and then the roller coaster literally dropped out from underneath us.
Oh my
And we
gosh.
had to go on to another track, and it was so cool, and spiders were crawling across you, so of course you're screaming. But it was so cool. You were on his little bike and his little sidecar, and so it felt so real.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So what was like your impression of going into the Harry Potter area since you're a big Harry Potter fan? Did it feel like you thought it would, or?
It did. It felt a lot more real than I ever imagined it would, because, you know, you see the big castle and it's snowy, and you see Hagrid's house, and you see all the shops and Ollivanders and all the things. It was really cool. And we had the park hopper pass, so we got to actually ride the train between the parks. So we got to get off at Station 9 3/4, and it was really cool to see those two worlds that you're not used to connect, because at Universal in California, they only have that one Harry Potter park. So you don't get to ride anything to go to Hogwarts. You just walk into Hogwarts. So it's pretty cool.
That's fun. That's really cool. So you said the park wasn't very busy. It was kind of empty feeling.
A little bit, yeah. I would say it probably had half the amount of people as Disney had.
So your express pass y'all had, could y'all do that on any ride? Mm-hmm. So it's not limited. It's just every ride.
Except for Hagrid. That's the only thing you couldn't do it on. Hagrid's, you had to enter, it was kind of like Rise of the Resistance. You had to enter a virtual queue, or with your park passes or your fast passes, you got into the park an hour early. So the second day, that had to be the first ride we did, and we were running to get there. And when we got there, it actually was closed because of the rain. Mm-hmm. It can't run, because it's an outside roller coaster, it can't run in the rain. And so we waited in line a good 90 minutes for them to get the ride back up and going, and the rain stopped, and just for enough time for that to go through for us. So that was pretty cool.
So what hotel did y'all stay at?
I can't remember. It was a Lou's hotel, but there's 5 of them. So we were on the riverboat one that took us to the park by the riverboat, and it was pretty neat. I mean, it was a hotel with a big room and some beds for the kids, and they brought in some pull-out beds because, again, we were 8 people.
So what was the kids' reaction when they found out y'all were actually staying there?
Well, when we left the park and we got on the boat, they were like, this isn't the way back to Disney. Why are we getting on a boat? And they were like, oh, well, we're just going to go meet our Uber. It's fine. And then we pull up to this beautiful hotel, and they're like, what is this? And they were like, oh, we were like, we just have to go get our bags. And they were like, what do you mean? So once we got our bags, and we were like, okay, here's your hotel room key. And they were like, what? And it was super cool. They were like, we get to stay here. Did you see the pool when we walked in? Did you see this? And it was so neat. They were so excited that we all got to be in the same room and get to stay at a different hotel. It was nice to just have a change of scenery for one night. We still had made reservations at Disney, so we were still paying for that hotel, right? We didn't want to do 5 days, have to move everything out, and then come back for 2 nights, you know?
Right.
So that part was hard for me because we had 2 hotel rooms that we were paying for, but it was 100% worth it. It saved us money in an Uber. It saved us, you know, having to leave and go back. It was 100% worth it. It was so easy just to ride the boat back and to go to the hotel, and we stayed in the pool very late that night.
That's so fun. I love surprising kids. It's just so fun to surprise kids.
It was. And then the next day we woke up, and that's the day we did Hagrid's and stuff, and that was my son's birthday. So we woke up and we were all singing happy birthday, and then the whole boat on the way to Universal singing happy birthday. It was pretty cool that he got to experience all that. Yeah.
That's so fun. What a great way to spend your birthday. So what was your favorite ride, or your favorite ride was obviously Hagrid's, but what other rides at Universal did y'all just love?
The Hulk roller coaster was really cool. It comes out and it spits you immediately like a corkscrew. So you shoot out this tube and it corkscrews you, and it's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. And then we went on the Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones was pretty fun. Mm-hmm. That one was good. And then there was another roller coaster that took you straight up and then dropped you down at a U and did roller coaster. But before you ever, like as you were inclining, they got your mind off it because each individual seat, you got to pick your music that you wanted to listen to. So, you know, you click your genre and then you click your song, and then the roller coaster lasts the length of that song. So it was pretty cool.
That's fun.
That you got to do that. My 11-year-olds were so brave. They sat in the very front, and I was behind them. And I don't like big drop roller coasters, but they wanted me to go, so I did it. And I just can't believe, like, I was terrified in the second seat, let alone being in the very front, seeing everything as it was happening. But they rocked it, and they wanted to go again. But I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. We have other rides to do.
Oh my gosh. Kids can be so brave.
They are. And I just didn't, you know, if this was 3 years ago, we went to Lagoon with my son, which is Six Flags in California. And he wouldn't ride any roller coaster. So for that big change, it was really cool to see.
That's really fun. Did y'all eat anything like special at Universal or anything that y'all really enjoyed?
We ate back at the hotel the first night. We didn't go to Universal City Walk or anything. And then the second day we ate at the Krusty Krab place. And the kids had some pizza and we had some burgers, and it was nothing like Disney food at all. I'm sure it could have been, but at that point we were just amusement parking it up. It wasn't anything like we had to experience.
Right.
So it was nice to not have that pressure to do that. So.
Yeah, Universal feels much more like an amusement park, whereas Disney's kind of an experience.
Right.
Yeah.
And the second day at Universal, we only stayed until 1 and then went back to our hotel because we wanted to spend some time at Disney Springs.
Okay.
So we got back to our hotel around 1 via Uber. And then we took the Magical Express to Disney Springs.
Okay, what'd y'all do over there?
This is where we did a lot of our souvenir shopping. We were flying out on Thursday, and our friends were flying out Wednesday night. So we had to get all the souvenirs and some shirts and whatnot. Then we had dinner on this boat on the lake, and it was pretty cool. It was a really yummy dinner, too. I can't even tell you the name of the place now.
Was it the boathouse?
It might have been. It
or
was literally
paddlefish? I think both of those are on the water.
Maybe it was paddlefish.
Okay, yeah.
And it was a really yummy dinner, really yummy drinks. great service, and we got to watch the sun come down over the lake.
Nice.
And we were up high on the higher level, so we got to see all of Disney Springs too. It was very cool.
That's really fun. So did y'all go to the World of Disney?
Yes.
Yeah.
We spent, I think, 2 hours in there shopping.
I believe that. That place is huge.
Yeah.
That's very fun.
And, if you miss something at a store, you can find it there. Like if you're at Magic Kingdom and you're like, oh, I really should have got this. We found it there, I bought a shirt at Magic Kingdom and I bought it too big, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll exchange it here. And I was like, okay, that's really cool.
Oh, that's really good to know for people listening. I didn't even realize you could do that.
Yeah. They also said that every hotel has a gift shop and you can exchange it there.
Oh, okay.
At the gift shop in your hotel too. But if they don't have it, they're going to send you to the World of Disney store.
Gotcha.
To go get it.
That's really good to know.
Yeah, they were very good about that. And I didn't have the receipt. I didn't have the tags because, again, it was in my fanny pack back at the hotel. I had my purse at this point because we were actually shopping. And they were so good. They did check my Magic Band receipt because that's where I had bought it from. And, it was there. So they were like, yeah, sure. Go get a smaller size and we'll take this one. I was like, great.
That's so nice. Oh, my gosh. So convenient.
Yeah, super convenient.
So how late did y'all stay at Disney Springs?
I think we were there until about 9 o'clock.
And then y'all rode the bus back to the resort?
Where the kids played in the hotel for one last night at the pool. So they got to go down and play. And this time it was my turn to go down. So we went and sat in the hot tub and I had some drinks while I played. It was very nice.
That's nice. What a great evening. Okay, so then we are at your last park day. Where did y'all go?
Hollywood Studios again.
Back to Hollywood.
We tried to get on to Rise of the Resistance again, but I didn't get a boarding pass. And my friends did, which was super awesome. But you can only have so many people as are in your Magic Band because it all registers through your app. And we actually, when we got to the park, we had asked those people at the park, hey, we're the same party, but we're on 2 different accounts. They got in, but we didn't. And they added us in, and we got to go on Rise of the Resistance again. And I didn't know that you could ask, like, if one person in your party gets in, then your whole party can get in. I just didn't, but we were on separate accounts, so I had no clue. So that was super, super cool because I was worried we weren't going to get to do it again.
Yeah, that's so nice. I mean, good thing y'all asked, because if you wouldn't have asked, you just wouldn't have been able to ride it again. Right.
And we learned that at Belle's Castle because the waitress was like, if you want something, ask. We're going to try our best to make that magic happen. And I had no clue. No clue. So when I finally used it that last day, they were like, yeah. And I was like, wow.
That's awesome. What boarding group were you? Do you remember?
The second day, we were boarding group like 110.
Okay.
And my friends had to leave for the airport around 1. Their flight was at 5, so they had to go back to the hotel and get their stuff. And they were a little worried that they weren't going to make it, but we made it on. We were on by like 11:30, and we got off that. And so we rode Tower of Terror a couple more times in the roller coaster before that. And then we had reservations, my family did, for 3 of us at the 50s Diner. And we ended up canceling them because at that point, after we rode the Rise of Resistance again, we were so tired. 7 days, 7 amusement parks. It was a lot. And we closed them out, or we were in the pool or whatever. And then we were at the park every day an hour early. So we were like, sorry, I know that you can't cancel day of. You get a fee. So if there's a fee, please let me know. And they were like, no, we totally understand. You came to us directly because we went to the restaurant. And there won't be any fee. Don't worry about it. So that was really nice that was able to be done for us. And then we went back to the hotel and helped them pack. So we only did a half a day at Hollywood because, again, we were exhausted. And then I don't know what happened in the week before versus the next week, but it felt like the park was just so much more crowded. On a Wednesday morning, you wouldn't think. It was wild how busy it was. Because the day we went to Hollywood Studios, we went on a Friday. So we would think that Hollywood Studios on a Friday versus Hollywood Studios on a Wednesday, it would be way more packed. It wasn't. Come to find out, the world championship for cheerleading was being hosted at Disney. So we really hit that last park not in a good time.
Oh yeah. So there's a lot of cheerleaders.
Yeah, all the families, everybody. So we were wondering what was different and why it was so packed on a Wednesday versus on a Friday.
Yeah, you wouldn't think.
So we had no problem leaving at 1.
And that's good to know for the restaurant. I think really the only time you would be charged the fee is if you're just a no-show. Like you just don't show up, because y'all probably gave plenty of time too. There, there's probably someone waiting who wanted to eat there and they were checking for reservations, so they ended up getting in. So that's nice.
Yeah, I think it all worked out.
Yeah, that's great. So what'd y'all do the rest of that day?
We saw our friends off, got them all in their Uber, and then we all took a nap. We watched a movie in the hotel and took a nap until I think like 4:00, and then we went down to the restaurant down at Coronado Springs, and it was this nice little sports bar. Had some things and tacho fries or waffle fries, nachos. They were waffle fries. And they made them nachos, and my son just thought that was the coolest invention ever.
That sounds so good.
We had really good food there that night. Yeah.
That sounds
and then
awesome.
We spent some time in the pool, and then I came home and got us all packed because we were supposed to get on the Magical Express really early that morning. What we didn't do, though, the morning we were leaving, we chose not to take the Magical Express to the airport. So when I got back to the hotel that night and got us all packed, I was like, why do we have to be down there at 7:35 for a flight that's not until 11? And it's because there's so many stops on the way that the Magical Express could take you to 3 different hotels, and you're on the bus for 2 hours. Then you have to be at the airport 2 hours early. And then the flight back is 4 hours. So that was something we just chose, even though it was complimentary, we chose not to do. So we ended up sleeping in a little bit longer, and we called an Uber and took an Uber to the airport. And I think it only was like $40. It wasn't anything crazy. But that was worth getting there on our own time and not having to sit on a bus for that long. So.
Absolutely. We never use Magical Express to go back to the airport because we don't want to just be sitting at the airport.
Yeah. No, and nobody told me that ahead of time. I was like, wait, what? When I got the little ticket under our door, I was like, no way. Yeah,
that's another live and learn. The first time we went to Disney World, we did it, and then we were like, never again. Because it's not fun sitting at an airport, especially during COVID when like half the stuff isn't even open.
Right. And there's no reason for it. I mean, we didn't have anything. We never have any problem going through security or whatever. I say that, but this going back, we did. It took forever to get through security. It took a full hour and a half to get through security.
Yeah. The security at that airport's always long.
Yeah. And not because it was like a lot of people. I don't feel like there was a lot of people in line. I feel like they were looking at every single item and every single bag as it went through the scanner.
It just slowed it down.
Worried about what people were going to bring home. So they actually pulled us aside and had us go. We had a bunch of candy that was like Lilo and Stitch and, the Disney candy. And they were all in sealed packages. And she was like rubbing her hand along all the packages to make sure they were sealed. And I was just blown away. Because in no other airport have I ever had somebody literally stop a bag in a scanner for 5 minutes looking at every single item that shows up on that x-ray.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah, and I don't know if this lady was training. I don't know if that's their normal, because, again, I've never been to Florida other than that. And it took a very long time. So we didn't get any food before we got on our flight. And it was a little rough.
Yeah.
I mean, we had some snacks from Disney left over, so that saved us. But we had a 4-hour flight from Florida to Phoenix at that point. So the ride back wasn't great either. Once we got on the plane, as we were sitting there, said, well, we were trying to get our Wi-Fi to work and it didn't. So if you have anything you want to download, do it now. And there's 3 minutes before we taxi out of here.
Oh, no.
And that wasn't enough time with everybody on our flight trying to download things. We did a 4-hour flight with just the music we had downloaded on our phone, and my kiddo had his little Nintendo Switch, and it just made for a very long flight.
Oh, that's frustrating. Oh my gosh, that's not
I wish
fun.
we would have said something as we were boarding, or you know what I mean? Like, I get it that they didn't get it going while they were there, and that was their hope. But I feel like if you would have told passengers that, we would have used the free Wi-Fi in the airport to do something. You know, everyone has access to downloading this or that. So,
and
we didn't need it on the way there because we had the Wi-Fi. We were going to have the Wi-Fi, so I download something to your phone that you don't need. So maybe, I guess, looking back at it, just have something downloaded just in case.
Yeah, just be prepared.
I wasn't prepared for that. I've been spoiled, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been spoiled with the Wi-Fi on the plane, so.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's very frustrating, especially when you just had a great vacation. You don't want to end it like that.
Yeah, and you're tired and you just want to relax and watch a movie because 7 days and 17 parks was a lot.
Yes.
It was a lot.
That is a lot. And I'm impressed y'all got early to each one. That's pretty amazing.
Everyone but Epcot.
Yeah.
You let us sleep in and we were done.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So what was your overall impression of the trip? Like, what were your favorite moments, your least favorite moments?
I had so much fun on this trip. I don't know how a lot of people do Disney, but the trip, 7 days, 7 parks with our family, it was a lot. And it was, for me, personally, it was a once in a lifetime experience. I don't know if I could ever go back and do Disney the same way we did it this time. I could maybe do 1 or 2 days and select a few parks that I don't have to go to. Now that I know some of the places to see, I would know what to do. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, but when I left there, I really left there feeling like this was a once in a lifetime trip. I love Disney World. It was so magical, but I don't know if I could do that again for 3 people and 7 days. With airfare included and food and everything, we roughly spent $10,000. It was a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
for that. It was great. The magic was there. The memories we will keep forever. But again, I don't know how people do it more than once a year, let alone multiple times a year.
Right.
I don't know. Like, I don't know how that can be. And it's not like the rides change a lot or the food changes a lot. It's all going to be the same when we go again. I mean, the only thing you're going with is knowledge of what to do and what not to do, which could make it better. I don't know. So as of right now, we haven't decided to go back, but that could change when we have an older kid or mom and dad just want to go and ride some rides and have some magic. But I really enjoyed a lot of the food we had. That was, I'm an Idaho girl. I like barbecue. I could survive on hamburgers and French fries forever. So some of the food and the weather and the eye-opening experiences were really, really cool. I don't know if I could go to any other theme park and have that full immersive experience like I did at Disney World. I mean, the Avatar, the flight of the Avatar ride, whatever. Smelling the mushrooms as we were going through the mushroom field, feeling the splash on my face. Breathtaking, unimaginable. I can't ever imagine doing anything that cool ever again. So there were so many things that were so great that I don't know. Maybe we'll go back someday, but as of right now, it just feels like this once in a lifetime, life-changing trip. It was really, really cool to see how far our technology is, how far all of it is, and how really childish it can make you feel again. Like, I felt like a kid in that ride, having so much fun.
That's really wonderful. And that's a great perspective to have, because a lot of people will leave and they're like, I just want to go back and I want to do this and I want to do this. But like having that feeling that you're like, we did it. And that was great. I think that's a great perspective to have.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I loved hearing about your trip. I loved hearing how y'all went to Universal. I haven't interviewed anyone who did that. So that was really fun.
It was really cool. I would say again, make sure you're looking up what events are happening at Disney, because we went without knowing, and we just got lucky. We missed spring break, and we went during this wall week before the championships of the cheerleaders came. Make sure you look up your things, because that's definitely going to change your trip. And I didn't think to do that before. That would be the one thing I would leave with everybody is know when you're going.
Yeah, that's really good advice for sure. Before I let you go, your thoughts on Coronado, is that a resort you would recommend for people to stay at?
I definitely would. If you have the older kiddos that don't need all the Disney characters, that don't need the paintings on the wall that Disney, absolutely. I would 100%. For me, Coronado was more of a luxury resort than it was a kid's hotel. And besides the movies on the lawn and some of the crafts that they did for the littler kids, my kids wanted to just be in the pool. So the hotel was more of just a place to sleep. And when the kids were in the pool, it was nice to have those adult things. The nice restaurant on the lake you could go to, the rooftop restaurant that we could go to. Favorite drink of the trip was at the rooftop restaurant. It was called a Tequila Daisy. It was my favorite drink, adult beverage, I should say, of the whole trip. So
that's awesome.
Yes, for adults, yes, I would say that's the hotel. I would say for older kids, that's the hotel, but not for the littler kids. Our hotel did have a slide that the littler kids loved, in the big pyramid that you'll see on the pictures. Mm-hmm. But other than that.
Well, that's really good to know. Okay, Stephanie, well, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was fun talking to you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening today. I hope you enjoyed hearing about Stephanie's trip to Disney World and Universal. To see pictures from their vacation, visit our Instagram page at Disney Travel Tales. If you would like more information on how our sponsor Trolley Lane Travel can help you plan your next Disney vacation, please visit trolleylanetravel.com. Be sure to mention that Disney Travel Tales sent you. If you plan a trip with Trolley Lane Travel and would like to be featured on the show, let your agent know. This is how we get our guests. And of course, this show would not be successful without your vacation stories. And finally, please help support the podcast by rating and reviewing it on Apple Podcasts. This is the best way for people to become familiar with the show. I look forward to being with you next Tuesday for a special guest. Becky, the owner of Trolley Lane Travel, will be on with her daughter discussing their May mother-daughter trip. Until then, this is Jenny, and may all your Disney travel dreams become a reality.